welcome back to this last segment of Community Hotline tonight. With me now I have Tim Park, my friend from the Sandy Actors Theater. So glad to see you again, Tim.
Thank you.
It's always a pleasure. And you always have interesting things to tell us about what's going on in the artistic theater community here in East County. So to wow me with all the good stuff that you have going on here. You do a lot of stuff with the theater world.
Yes.
You're an actor, you're a production manager, you've directed, right?
Yes.
What else have you done? What else is there?
That's enough.
I think that's plenty.
That's enough.
So what are you doing now?
Okay, the next thing that we have is this Saturday, and it's a big thing. We have a special performance, a Reader's Theater performance, which we're doing at Cascadia Retirement Village in Sandy. And it's a fundraiser that Sandy Actors Theater is putting on in order to raise money to improve our theater for senior access.
Oh,
mostly
perfect.
it's not so much access as it's hearing and improving the sound system.
Oh, okay.
Because we have a big thing that has happened in the theater, and that's that we are having also a development on access, and that's that we're having a lift put in.
I heard about this.
You know,
That's
and
big
it's
news.
to go in in the next week or so.
Is
In
that
fact,
right?
so we will have it in for our next performance.
Now, how do you get that? Do you get like a grant or something to get that, or how does that work?
We were very fortunate, and let's say this fast 100 times. Meyer Memorial Trust
Meyer Memorial, yes.
provided a grant for $20,000.
Wonderful.
Which, along with the donations that we received from our patrons, we were able to do this, and it was something we really didn't expect that we'd be able to do for many years.
What a
And
nice
so
surprise,
we
huh?
were very pleased in October when that came through, and
That's
it's gone
great.
very quickly. We've had to do some remodeling, but it's going in, and so people will not have to fight the stairs
Great.
that we've had, and
So
we'll be
that'll
able to
allow a
access.
lot more people to be able to come to view your shows.
Yes. Let me go back for a minute to the
Okay.
fundraiser that we are
Okay.
having, which is more about the sound system. Back in November, Reader's Theater Gresham, which is also a part of Sandy Actors Theater, was asked by Portland Center for the Performing Arts to come down and be a part of what their program called Noontime Showcase.
Okay.
And so we put together a presentation of Chekhov's The Proposal, which is a one-act play, and performed it there, which we were very pleased to do. It was really nice to be able to see
I bet.
our name up on the marquee at the
Yes,
Snitzer.
yes, that's impressive. Do you take a picture of that to put in
Yes,
your
I did.
scrapbook?
I
bet you
did.
I would have too.
And so now we're doing that as a reprise for this fundraiser at Cascadia Retirement Village in Sandy. It's at 3 o'clock
How long
this
of a
Saturday.
performance is that? It's a one-act play. It can't be terribly long.
It's
is it?
about 45 minutes.
Okay, perfect.
And
That's fair.
there will be refreshments provided, tea and scones. It's called an afternoon tea.
Nice.
And the cost is only $8.
Very
And
reasonable.
the proceeds are going to improving the sound system and hopefully providing some hearing devices for
great.
those who are hearing impaired.
Wonderful. You're making it just easier and easier to
Well,
come.
a lot of our clientele are
Older?
somewhere. Well, you said it, not me. We're both getting there. Remember?
Yeah, I know. Yes, I know. You heard the one gal earlier. You're almost a senior, aren't you? Yes.
Okay, but that's something that's really big for us is that fundraiser that's going on.
And that's at
But
Cascadia?
that's not all.
Cascadia, it's called, in
Yeah,
Sandy.
Cascadia Retirement Village.
Okay. And anybody can go, though?
Anybody can come, and we encourage people to.
Okay, good, good.
But our next thing,
Mm-hmm.
which is our main production, which starts February 10th, is Marvin's Room by
Marvin's
Scott
Room.
McPherson. Are you familiar with it?
Yes, I've seen it, yes.
Okay.
Yes. Not your production, yeah.
No, that I actually like the play better than the movie, too.
Yeah, yeah.
And I've just really grown to love this play. It's about a dysfunctional family, two sisters that have been separated for 17 years.
Mm-hmm.
And because of one of them coming down with a disease and needing a bone marrow transplant, they have to get in contact again, and there's a lot of quirky characters, a lot of people that don't fit real well, but they have to end up working together and reconciling, and they find that the thing that really gets them through all of this is their love and commitment to each other. And I just want to read our little synopsis of it. First of all, it was a winner of the Drama Desk Award for Best Play, and that's beyond the Tonys, in fact, because Drama Desk Awards cover all of New York plays. The Tonys just cover those on Broadway.
Yeah,
so,
okay.
And it says, this is a hilarious and wondrous account of one woman's commitment to loving her family first, and her belief that giving such love has made her life incredibly rich, even as she faces her own pain and loss. It's one of the more moving plays I've ever seen. It's one that will get you in here, and at the same time you'll have plenty of opportunity to laugh at some of these characters.
Those are the best kind. I love a good play with quirky characters too.
Oh, it's
ones that are memorable that you
yes.
that you don't forget.
And I get to be one of those quirky characters.
You are in this, okay.
Yes.
Now I knew you were the production manager for this,
Yes.
but you're also an actor. Okay. I mean, I know you're an actor, but you're in this one.
I am in this one.
Okay. What does it mean to be a production manager? What do you have to do?
Well, that's a good question, because it's like everybody sort of knows what a director does, and of course they see the actors.
Right, right.
But somebody has to organize it, put it all together, make sure that things get done, not only with directing the actors, but getting the set, getting the marketing, getting props, and somebody has to just be in charge of all this, and then also take care of making sure that we actually meet a bottom line as far as our expenses.
So that's a fairly huge job, I'd say.
It's a lot bigger than I thought it was.
Before you said yes, huh? Like, wow. Wow.
So,
yeah, that is huge undertaking.
In other terms, it would be called a producer.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a producer job.
Yeah, if it was in film, TV,
television.
or something.
Yes, yes. Cool.
So,
okay, so Marvin's Room
is February 10th,
and it's out
through
in
March
Sandy
4th
at
Sandy Actors Theater. We have 3 performances per weekend: Friday night, Saturday night at 8 o'clock, and Sunday afternoon at 3.
Matinee.
Yes, and we open just before Valentine's Day. We're having a very special opening because we're going to have the inauguration of the lift. And we will have sort of a ribbon cutting, and one of the ladies in a wheelchair who was instrumental in getting this whole project started, who happens to work at Cascadia also. She will be the first one on the lift.
Oh, great.
And we are also having a special evening that first opening night where we're going to have chocolate tasting, sort of related to Valentine's, and Dita's Chocolate Shop in Sandy is providing that.
Very, very nice. That makes it rather special. That'll be a great night, won't it?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So now, you mentioned earlier that as part of the Sandy Actors Theater, this gets confusing because we've talked about this before. You also have the Readers Theater Gresham.
Yes.
Okay. Explain how that works, and what the difference is.
Well,
between
Readers
the
Theater
Actors Theater
Gresham
and the Readers Theater. Is a Readers Theater.
Yes, but it's presented by Sandy Actors
Actors Theater. Okay.
Readers Theater is where you don't have, set and costumes and all the other production aspects of it. The emphasis is on the text and just hearing the words. It doesn't mean the actors don't act.
Because
There's every bit as much acting in a Readers Theater performance. And now we're into our second season. It's been very popular. We have a pretty good clientele, and I'm pleased to say they keep coming.
Isn't that wonderful?
So,
well, it's working. That's great.
We just did Harvey, which is a classic, just a couple weeks ago. And this next month in February, on February 20th, we are doing another classic, sort of from the opposite end of the spectrum, though. Harvey is one of the classic comedies we're doing, Of Mice and Men,
by
by John Steinbeck. And this is our drama for the year.
Yes,
And
that's very
it's
intense.
one of the- yes, but it's a great show.
Oh, sure it is. Yes.
And we've had people say, we're just so glad that you're willing to do a drama too.
Good,
There are
good.
many community theaters, all you see is comedy or farce or something.
And the Readers Theater performance are always just one performance.
Yes,
Is
it's
that
just
correct?
one night. It's the third Monday of the month. It takes place at Gresham Chapel and Evening Event Center, which is just a few blocks from where we are right now, just north of Powell,
yeah.
257 Southeast Roberts.
Okay.
And we have a very nice facility that's been offered to us. We use the bottom part of it, which is a banquet room, and it works very well.
And the attendance has been good.
It's been good, yes.
Yeah. Isn't that rewarding?
Even on Harvey, when there was prediction of snow and sleet and all of that, we still had, I think, 85 for
Wow.
that night.
Nice. That's great. I know last year you were selling out and had standing room only when you were at the.
Well, yeah,
you
we
were at
would.
the
This would have been standing room only with that number, but because we do have a larger facility now, then we can accommodate more,
That's
which
great.
is good.
That's great. So what else do you have coming up in the rest of the year? Do you know? Do you plan
Do
that
I
far
know?
ahead? Yeah. Yeah, you do. Of
Well,
course you do. Silly question.
after Marvin's Room, and I really, really encourage people to see that you will like the show.
Yeah.
You will too.
I hope so. Okay, good.
We have a comedy called A Barrel Full of Pennies, and it's written by a man named John Patrick, who wrote mostly in the 40s, 50s, and early 60s.
Have you done some other stuff?
And
by John
he
Patrick?
is pretty well known by some of the things we have done, and that
I was
Nuts and
gonna say.
Bolts has
Okay.
done too. Last year we did The Curious Savage
Right. I knew that
by
name.
him, and then in the fall, Nuts and Bolts Theater in Boring did A Bad Year for Tomatoes, which is also by him. Then we're doing A Barrel Full of Pennies, which is a great comedy. Talk about a quirky family. The family's last name is Samaritan, and they take in anyone and anything or any being that has a need, and they have this very cluttered home that's full of birds and dogs and ducks and
little bit of
canaries and people too that have sort of lost their way in life.
Oh, how funny.
And they take him in, and somehow the daughter doesn't quite fit in that because she wants to bring her supposed boyfriend, home, and
Does she wanna
that's
be
not going to
normal?
work
It's not a normal
in that
home.
environment.
Yes,
And
yes.
just, it's been talked about as if it's a small cast, you can't take it with you.
Well, yeah.
So,
That's good.
it's a very funny show,
Good.
and
So that'll be
and
the-
I'm directing that one.
Oh, you're directing. Oh, see, you wear many hats. Tim.
Yeah, I think I'm nuts sometimes, but that's
Well,
what
I've
being
thought
in
that for a long
theater
time, but
is.
that's okay. And what else do you have?
Okay, and after that we have at Sandy, we have a Pulitzer Prize winning play, which many people probably are familiar with, and that's Rabbit Hole.
I've never seen it, but I've certainly heard of it.
Wonderful, strong, touching story about a couple trying to deal with the death of their son who was killed in a car accident, and just learning to cope and learning to support each other through life. Won the Pulitzer Prize, like I said, just a few years ago in 2007. Recently, it was a movie with Nicole Kidman, just last year, in fact. And there's a just gripping scene toward the end where the teenage boy who was driving the car comes to apologize to the mother,
Sounds
and
intense.
the way the tension, but at the same time the reconciliation and forgiveness. It
sounds
something.
beautiful. It sounds beautiful. Well, we have a lot of stuff to look forward to. It sounds like.
I should say also
Yes.
we have Readers Theater going
Okay.
on too.
Well, we're almost out of time.
Yeah,
so
I know.
The Readers Theater will have.
The third Monday of the month, we have the Gin Game in March, Enchanted April, and The Hasty Heart by
Good.
John Patrick
Again.
in May.
Okay, good. Well, we have a lot to look forward to. You have a website.
SandyActorsTheater.org.
Okay, so people can get the whole schedule, find out the prices, the places, what's coming up, and we'll have to come check out your new lift and your hopefully we'll get some money raised for the hearing.
Do it before you become too much of a senior, okay?
Okay, Tim. Okay, thank you so much. And thanks for watching this last segment of Community Hotline. I'm glad you stayed with us tonight. We had a great group of people here, and I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to check us out next week. We'll be back at the same time. This is Monica Weitzel, and this is Community Hotline. Good night.